Dr. Geneviève Jourdan. She is an old friend of the Sudanese women and Sudanese people. She is, when we came to know each other, I think 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
4 years maybe.
And then you told me that you are friend of Fatima. I said to you, Fatima who? You said to me, Fatima Ibrahim.
Yeah, it must be 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Yeah. Now unfortunately, we lost Fatima. May God rest her soul in peace. And I want you just to speak a little bit about Fatima, how you met her, what you have done for her or with her.
Oh, what she has done for me.
And what she has done for you also as well. So, Dr. Geneviève, you are a medical doctor by profession and human rights activist for more than 41 years, isn't it? Engaged in many civil society organizations and contribution and engagement in health, public health and popular people's movement of health and health for all and everything. But you are not limited only to health. So just speak to us a little bit, doctor, who you are and how. And and we are registering.
First, I went, and I can't remember now because the date with me, it's difficult. I know by event.
Okay.
And I've done my medicine because I wanted to continue with the migrants. There was nothing really for the migrants. And a kind of medicine that would be for them, for the variety of people coming from, etc., having so different things, living so difficulties, and etc. And when I went to London, it's because in the UK, a lot of people were coming from Africa, from Asia, it was a bit like today now. And there was nothing, a medical issue, adapted for them. They couldn't have anything with national health. They were not admitted to that. So everything needed to be done to find a way. And I don't remember if it was on that occasion I met Fatima.
She was young.
Maybe it was
young girl.
We couldn't say young girl. You know, she was of the state of a woman with no age. And we thought she would never age.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
She was she had an impact on people because she was really lively, but at the same time she was perceiving. She was observatrice. She was interested by people. And when I met her, she was suffering. She had a treatment. She was physically. She went to UK because she needed a medical treatment.
From Sudan.
And it was for that. She didn't know how long it would last. She thought it would be short. And I think it's for that she came to me. Because she didn't know how to ask a prolongation
of stay in UK.
Yeah, to have a treatment being done
in UK. Okay.
And the problem also, they didn't want to give her before she came a prolongation of visa.
Visa.
Prolongation of her passport,
permit of stay.
saying that it will be done in the UK if necessary. I think it was something like this. And so we talked together, and I said, well, maybe it would be better for you not to go alone over there, but with etc. Otherwise, we can do a letter, and you have also, from the hospital, you have, they say that you need to be, can't remember if it was hospitalized or you needed to come every day or etc. I can't remember.
Follow up, okay.
But she needed to stay with them.
Long stay.
And they couldn't say how long it would take. But she was really not in a good way. Now her life has been so difficult because she was put in prison so many of them.
Oh, sorry.
And she was put in prison when she was pregnant. She was put in prison, I think she had a son in prison, it seems to me, from what I could understand.
Her son now is a medical doctor in UK.
Absolutely.
You know that, yeah.
And so it was, everything was difficult. So we were taking her out, and up she...
Taking her out from Sudan.
And every time we had to do that, take out, etc.
Yeah, continue.
So it was really difficult. And by that time, she phoned me, I think, the same day. She said, look, I need to see you because something happened when I went for my passport.
Fatima's passport, okay.
So we met very, quickly. And she said, I put everything, I gave everything, and I said I needed as soon as possible. And I said also that I needed it very shortly because in a few days I will have to go to Berlin because I was nominated as a directress of one of the first, I think, association of women.
Parliament.
And it was, they were having a meeting, a mondial meeting in Berlin.
Okay.
And they needed my presence.
Okay.
I had to be over there, to be nominated in front of people. And she said, as I was going out, I saw coming from a corridor someone, I prefer to say someone,
yeah. In the Sudan embassy in London,
giving a sign. No, it was in London.
Okay.
So the person made a sign, and they entered a room, and he said that. And he said, she shot like this, very, very white voice.
Okay.
He said, lady, don't come back to take your passport.
Ah, serious?
Because if you do that, they will get rid of you. Then you will be put in a box, in a large box, and sent back by plane in Sudan.
Oh.
They want you to be your person.
To get rid of
disappear.
Yeah, disappear. Okay.
Yes. They want to get rid of you. And she was totally, and he said that for her not to speak, and he went away.
Good person.
So I said, lady, I don't think somebody would put at risk his safety by telling you lies. if he said that, he had a good reason. He knows you, for sure, because he did recognize you.
Yeah.
And
She's famous, Sudanese woman, yes. Because they killed her husband.
Already, yes.
Yeah.
She was already. But by that time, I knew that a bit, but I didn't know that she had been put in prison so many times, etc. And I knew she had been, because I signed the various things, but it was worse than I ever saw on a paper, or I'd never been told, in fact. And I said, look, when that meeting is starting, she said, I said it was in a few days, but I think it's tomorrow. I need to travel tomorrow, because it will be the day after.
The nomination, her nomination, the day after.
So I need to be in Berlin.
Oh gosh.
I say, okay, lady, just give me the name of people who knows you here. I'll get in touch with the BBC.
The BBC?
Yes. I'll get in touch with MPs that I know.
Member of Parliament.
Oui, member of the Parliament.
The English Parliament?
Yes, the British Parliament.
The British, okay.
And I'll see what we can do, but it needs to be done tomorrow, the latest, because you won't be able to
travel to Berlin.
Yeah. So she wrote what she could, etc. And I said, now go, sleep well, because you're not in good shape.
Yeah. She was sick.
Let's think that everything will be okay. And if you are a religious person, pray for it.
Okay.
That's
she prayed.
And I said, now we will have a white night.
Okay, good.
So that is how it started. I was starting to telephone to all the MP I knew. BBC, I said, we need to do a program with that lady. Could you prepare something, etc. She will have to speak.
To the BBC?
She will have to, yes. But send me also everything you know about her. Because that will be helping with MP. And so, I cannot tell you the night it was and the morning it was, but we had everything ready. Her at the BBC.
In the morning.
And in the morning, meeting the MP who are phoning her, etc., answering them, etc. The MP between them, services, etc., etc. At the beginning of the afternoon, we had a new passport.
New passport for Fatma?
For Fatma.
In one night?
In one night, everything. We did awake people.
Awake people in the night to do the passport?
We did. Exactly. It was really, we needed. And it was the MP himself who were doing it.
How you awake an MP in the night?
Yes. And that was marvelous. Because they saw the stories, they knew she was well known, etc. And they said, no way that somebody coming here, having a treatment, would be taken and disappeared, that we will not. And so it was absolutely, I never seen that since. But we had, I called her and I said, look, I've taken a ticket, go over there, somebody will be accompanying you over there. Because
to Berlin?
You will have somebody, but at the beginning you will know who is that person,
okay,
for safety.
Okay. Okay.
for not looking, for not, etc.
Okay.
Then after, he will be, that person will be, etc. So that is how it started.
With Fatima. Oh gosh. Very interesting. You know, in Sudan, people, they don't know this story.
And it was a permission for her to stay
In UK.
as long as she needed.
Oh.
And you know, so we had all, because we had all a file, medical file. So
That is how it started.
she was hoping it wouldn't be, but later on she was obliged. Because she was obliged she had the medical treatment she needed to be followed for the various imprisonment. I don't know if it's English or so.
Yeah.
She endured a lot of things. Yeah.
I met her for the first time in 1995, and we walked together with her from Perugia to Assisi, Church of Assisi in Italy. That was a peace walk during the
Assisi.
Assisi,
Yes.
yeah, Assisi Church.
It's a lovely place.
A lovely place. I walked with her and another South Sudanese leader, Bilal. Still he's alive. And in that day we got the chance to speak together with another father, Comboni father, because I think she had relationship with the Comboni mission in Sudan and education. That's why he knows her. And she was a lovely lady. Though I was very young, and she was wondering how come a Sudanese come and speak Italian, and he's already here in Italy less than 1 year. But she was a lovely lady, and I think Sudan has missed this good lady. So Jordan, I know another time we will talk about Fatima.
Yes.
And thank you very much for this interview. So I know that you are tired.
She has been doing a lot of work within the UK and internationally as well.
Yeah.
Because it was possible to put her as a representative of her face as well.
Okay. To use her image.
In international, yes, with other women. We needed a woman from
like
face,
her.
Yes. And I nominated her, and everybody said, oh, that would be marvelous. And she has been every year, or twice a year maybe, coming, following with other women. We had women from all faiths, but she knew perfectly well. She was like a religious man, you know, in a way. She knew by her father.
Yeah.
By her father.
Her father is a religious.
Father, yes.
How come?
The father was, how do we call it? I can't remember.
Religious leader. He's a teacher.
He was a teacher. He was a religious man. Yes, he had something into their own church. He was a leader of something, but at the level of faith.
Okay.
He was an imam.
Imam, okay.
He was an imam.
Okay.
And very well known. She was for a very well known family already.
In Sudan.
Yeah.
And how come she was not so religious herself?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely no.
But she knew her face was a real face, but not from something. She knew very well through her father everything, but for her she was an ecumenic woman.
Okay. No worries. Yes. Let us take it as an interval. So how she coincide between being non-religious and a father religious man? Because you know.
It's a long story. I think we need. she was interested by the poverty, by